City of Brampton's 2026 proposed budget. So, if you are a resident of Brampton and you want to give your input for this proposed budget, so budget chats will be going through across month of January. Please do take part. Please do take part, and let's see the press conference by City of Brampton where they announce the proposed budget for 2026. 1.5% इंक्रीज 1.5% इंक्रीज ਜਿਹੜਾ 2026 ਚ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਟੈਕਸ 'ਚ ਇੰਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰੀਜਨ ਦਾ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ 3.36 ਬਾय ਦ ਰੀਜਨ ਆਫ ਪੀਲ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਤੇ ਇੰਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਸੋ 1.5% ਇੰਕਰੀਜ਼ ਬਾय ਦ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਇਨ ਦਿਸ ਈਅਰ ਸੋ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਅ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਬਜਟ ਚਾਰਟਸ 'ਚ ਆਪਣਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲਓ ਔਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਫੀਡਬੈਕ ਦਿਓ ਹਾਊ ਯੂ what suggestions you want to give to the budget charts?
And I'm pleased to report for 2026, we were able to keep Brampton's operational budget increase to just 0.8%, under a single percentage point for our operational budget. Overall, the proposed city portion of the property tax is 1.5%. That is one of the lowest in the GTA. And this has been a focus for the last 7 years. When I started as mayor, we had among the highest tax rates in the GTA, and I said we would work with determination to make sure we were competitive on taxes. I realized that this is a significant strain on families. And if you look at the chart, Brampton used to have among the highest taxes, and now if you look at the list of the net levy per capita, Brampton now has among the lowest taxes in the GTA. This will continue to be a guiding principle for our city to make sure affordability is really considered at every decision point. This is a shift, and it's a determined shift thanks to council, thanks to our city staff that really recognize this as an imperative. Despite our focus on affordability, I'm pleased to report that Brampton's finances remain in very sound condition. We are proud to maintain our AAA credit rating, a clear signal of confidence in how we manage public dollars. Once again, a AAA credit rating. At the same time, we've secured a record $163 million contribution to our city reserves. We have never put as much into our reserves as we are this year, setting a new record once again. That's about protecting taxpayers today while preparing responsibly to the infrastructure needs of the city in the years to come. This is the kind of fiscal stewardship residents expect and deserve. Public safety also remains a top priority. At a regional level, we've continued to invest in the Peel Police to make sure they have the muscular response they need to deal with the challenges of organized crime in Canada's large cities. On a local level, we have given additional resources to bylaw and fire prevention to make sure that those that ignore local laws are going to continue to face a strong crackdown. Last year, we had the largest expansion of bylaw, and this year we're continuing that investment with 22 new bylaw officers. The principle is simple. Responsible residents are protected and bad actors will pay. We are sending a clear message. Brampton will not tolerate behavior that put lives and neighborhoods at risk, and we will make sure the good residents don't pay for that. It's the bad residents that will pay for the cost of our bylaw program.
Chopra from #media. Automated speed enforcement cameras were here, and now they are not what they are doing, what they were supposed to do. So how much total revenue or expense taxpayers' money does city lost by stopping those cameras? And what was the deal with the suppliers? Any contract for how long? And $2,000 per camera, what that was the lease, or what are the clarification if how much total revenue city lost, the taxpayers lost?
So really, the city is not in a position of lost revenue. The city was able to effectively use those cameras when they were in place to pay for for more than the cost of the infrastructure. Under the rules the province put in place, it could only be used for traffic calming, and so the city is not out. We are going to be using the funds now. Since we can't collect funds from the speed cameras, but the province has suggested that we use other tools for the cameras. One suggestion the Premier had was to help with police investigations. We have worked with the province on 3 areas that we'll be rolling out. One is, of course, to help the police. Those cameras can help with the police. But we're also now looking at being able to issue tickets for those that run red lights. and those that have speedy or noisy mufflers. And so we're working with the camera company, the province, and it's all going very well. And so we're happy that we can continue to redeploy those cameras for a purpose that is permitted by the province. I would add the province has also given the city $6 million, over $6 million for this transition. So there's not a cost to taxpayers.
My follow-up is for Deputy Mayor. Residents of Brampton, they are a bit hurt when they read a big article about the Nivas living, and the controversy started. And elected official job is to come and clear out the air, what is there and what is, because we have many questions in regard to that, that 24 million was given to your own corporation. So what is the clarification? We have heard that you send a legal notices to some of those, but residents want to know what are the facts in that. Did you give 24 million? Is a big conflict of interest, and does the proposed budget, address those kind of issues of a conflict of interest where the taxpayers' money is involved?
So just for clarity, I don't want to speak specific to an article, but these are charities and nonprofits with their own independent boards. They're delivering social goods for the community, whether it's a long-term care home or affordable housing. They're doing it in the same manner organizations have done before them, whether it's long-term care homes or affordable housing. They are fully compliant, not just with city regulations, but with federal, with provincial, with the lender requirements. And so I'm very proud of my work on these organizations. I'm very proud of the impact they're making on the ground. I'm very delighted by the support we've had, whether it's from funders, whether it's with stakeholders, and the commitment I make that these projects will be delivered for our community on time and on budget, and they will make a huge impact, not just for the near future, but for generations to come. Thank you.
And I would add, as mayor, I encourage councillors to get involved and support local charities and not-for-profits. NOWAS is an incredible organization that does incredible work with affordable housing and long-term care. And I think it's very commendable that the deputy mayor has spent so much time trying to make these projects a reality. I would note this funding came through the Federal Housing Accelerator fund that has been very effective in supporting projects in our community. It's why we've advocated for the continuation of that federal fund, whether it is the home opportunities, whether it's Habitat for Humanity. We've used this federal fund to build housing. The notion that councillors can't volunteer for charities is ludicrous. Let me say very loud and clearly, I spent a lot of time volunteering for our hospital, which is a healthcare foundation, and I'm proud to do so. And I think every councillor, not only their work at City Hall, they should pick a charity and say, I'm going to volunteer and put passion and time into it. So well done to the deputy mayor on picking a charity to rally behind.
So we have vice chair of the City of Brampton's budget committee, Paul Vicente. Paul, 1.5% increase in the proposed budget. And then how much is the increase by the region? How much more burden on the City of Brampton residents?
Well, this year, Nitin, all members of council, not just here at the City of Brampton, but at the Region of Peel, we've been working very hard to make sure that we recognize that the community is experiencing a lot of fiscal challenge. It's a tough budget year for all of us in our homes, but also here at the city and at the Region of Peel. And that's why we've worked very closely together with staff to produce a budget that recognizes these challenges and yet still advances the key priorities that we have in our community, for example, safety. And so with a 1.5% increase here at the City of Brampton, it is the lowest increase across the GTHA. And at the Region of Peel, we started off at 4.5% and we've worked that down to 3.65%. A very substantial amount of work was done to arrive at that number. And again, part of our role, part of our responsibility, recognizing that folks are experiencing great challenge at home. We too are experiencing fiscal challenges, headwinds from tariffs, headwinds from a lot of other different places. And so we have, I think, produced something here that everyone can be proud of, but still, we invite people to participate and take part in our budget coffee chats, come to our roundtables, come to our special council meetings, and tell us what you think about the budget. Show us ideas on how we can potentially save more. And so we ask you to take part with us, support us in producing a budget that we can all live with.
And when are these budget chats starting?
So budget chats will be throughout the month of January, as well as our special council meetings. And we're hosting 3 roundtables, one with the business community, one with the arts community, and another one with the downtown Brampton BIA, key stakeholders in our community that we would like to help inform us on 2026 budget.
Does this budget also address the issue of overspending or where this was not required to spend, wasteful spending? Does this budget address those issues?
So let me tell you, 14,000 line items that staff went through, line by line, making sure and analyzing to ensure that we have gotten the most value from each line item. Staff have spent thousands of hours going through the budget. A key team under the mayor's management and supervision to ensure that we have the best results for the people of Brampton. And here you have a 1.5% increase, which is unmatched across the city, across the region.
What message you want to give to the residents, because they are looking after their lawmakers, including municipal, federal, and provincial, because you rightly said residents are burdened, Ontarians or the Canadians are burdened by the situation what we are going through. Tough times ahead for the small businesses, for the residents, for the taxpayers. How we can give that confidence back to the taxpayers?
Nitin, I would say this. For the past 8 years, we've had a council, a team that has worked tirelessly on behalf of the people of the city of Brampton. We have a mayor that has stood front and center and fought for us in so many different fights that we've faced. Think about COVID, think about tariffs, think about everything that has happened. And as a team, we have continued to work for the betterment of the city of Brampton, for the betterment of the people of this city. And no more obvious is that work visible when you look at the sequence of budgets that we have been producing since 2019 through 2022 and through to today. Some of the lowest budget increases that we've seen across all of the region, all of the province. And this budget, 1.5%, we hope that the people will see that this is a testament to the close work that this council does together with our mayor for the good of the people of Brampton.
Does budget also address the issue of a conflict of interest, because that diminishes the image of the city, or the taxpayers want to know when we have the budgets we should address those kind of issues so that in future those kind of conflict of interest should not happen, that negativity goes out. So what is the, you are a vice chair in this proposed committee.
When it comes to conflict of interest, the rules are very clear. Whenever an individual who is on council making a decision has a pecuniary interest in a decision that is to be made, and that pecuniary interest would be very specific to them, they have an obligation and a duty to recuse themselves from the discussions. Now, in many cases, Nitin, we make decisions that affect the majority of the people of Brampton, or perhaps an area of the city of Brampton, and that member of council resides in that area. That particular decision doesn't just affect them, it affects the broader community as well. And so they have a right to participate in those votes. That's why we elected them. We draw from the community to select members of council, to select the mayor. So of course they would be part and parcel of any decision-making process. And so when members of council feel the need to declare a conflict of interest, they do so because they reflect and realize that the decision that is being done that day affects them very personally, and so they would have a duty if there is a pecuniary interest.
Okay, so City of Brampton residents, Paul Vicente is the vice chair in this proposed budget committee. If you have any suggestions, any comments to make, or give your inputs, like how city should operate, what they should do, reach out to Paul Vicente, vice chair of proposed budget committee.
Tell us what you think, and Nitin, thank you for always covering Brampton.
Thank you very much.
So Nitin, you can see here a chart which displays the net per capita levy increase here at the city of Brampton. And when you compare amongst Whitby, Burlington, Mississauga, other communities across, the average of all the communities is $1,800. For the city of Brampton, we're as low now as $1,500.
So what does this mean? 1,500, 16. What does
This
mean?
represents the average levy that a taxpayer is responsible for across the city. And so what that means is that when compared to other municipalities, we used to be higher on this chart before this term of council, but through the work of council, through the work of the mayor, we have brought that number down substantially. And I think to your question earlier about what would I say that this is a testament to the work of this council, the work of the mayor, in recognizing that affordability is a key issue for us.
Okay, thank you.
So the City of Brampton budget process has begun as of this morning, where we have shared with the public that right now the budget is at 1.5% increase. It's one of the lowest in the GTHA, and our mayor, our council, our city staff in particular have worked very hard over the past year to squeeze the budget to make it 1.5%, which is the lowest across the GTHA. So please join us for our various budget chats. You could find it on the city website. In wards 1 and 5, our budget chat will be happening at Century Gardens on Sunday, January the 18th from 5 to 6 p.m. Please join us. Everyone is welcome for a drop-in. You can ask all your questions, make your suggestions on what you would like to see more of in the budget, but also how we can save more in the budget as well. I'm very proud that this 1.5% makes things a little bit more affordable, especially when you compare it to other tax increases in other municipalities. And we are still investing in important things like sports, recreation, as well as arts, community safety and well-being, as well as very other important issues across the city of Brampton. So at the region of Peel, we passed that budget before the holidays at 3.36% increase. A significant portion of that focuses on health and safety, particularly on safety. Residents want to see more police officers. We need to catch up on having more police officers to deal with organized crime, extortion, more on auto theft, as well as violent crime, including intimate partner violence. So we are hiring 175 more police officers on our roads in 2026, which is on top of the 300 that we hired in the previous year in 2025. So the priority at the region of Peel truly is safety. We're also hiring more paramedics in that regional budget, which is contributing to a little bit of that increase as well. So health and safety is number one in the regional budget.
Harkirat ji, the proposed budget for 2026, what kind of issues the city of the Brampton residents they are facing? You are a deputy mayor. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਅਕ੍ਰੋਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਕੰਸਰਨਸ ਹੈ, ਐਕਸਟੋਰਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਬਜਟ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੀ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵੀ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ?
So I think overall theme ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ residents ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦਾ, it is simply everybody's going through a tough time. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ pressure ਉਦਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ city ਦੇ pressure ਆ, right? ਕਰਕੇ everything's about expenditures, expenses, right? So ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ understand ਕਰਦਾ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ aggressive ਜਿਹੜੀ property tax increase ਆ ਕਾਫੀ ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਰੱਖੀ ਆ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਵੀ ਹੈ। we're growing city, ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ critical investments ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੀ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰੀਏ। And then I would say ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ residents ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, you know this issue, I know this issue, they know this issue, crime, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ crime ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ specifically extortion, ਆਪਾਂ ਮੈਂ Peel Police ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, when we talk about burglaries and auto theft, break-ins, it's not zero. But from 2 years ago, ਫਰਕ ਹੈਗਾ, residents ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦੇ। ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ extortion ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਆ, ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਚਲਾਉਣੀਆਂ, ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ or women's ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲਾਂ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ, ਇਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਧ ਰਿਹਾ, and the numbers show it too. I think ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਊਗਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ, myself, Mayor Brown, even Caledon ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ Mayor Annette, Mario Russo ਕਾਫੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾ ਰਹੇ ਕਰਕੇ ground reality ਆਪਾਂ ਫੇਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, and so extortion ਜਿਹੜਾ we really want to focus on that in the next few weeks.
ਲਾਈਕ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜ਼ਿਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਾਂ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ, ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ, ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟਸ ਆਰ ਹੁਣ ਟੈਕਸ ਦਾ ਕਰੀਏ 1.5% increase by city of Brampton, which is one of the lowest.
Yes.
But there is also a tax increase by the region of the Peel. So that is also on
Yeah.
the city of
Yeah,
Brampton
yeah, yeah,
residents.
yeah.
So a region or city ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ tax ਹੈ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ combine ਕਰੀਏ 3.36 plus 1.5 is too much for the residents.
Yeah, and region appeal, listen, ਜਿਹੜਾ crime ਆ ਉਹ actually ਉਸ level ਤੇ address ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, and last year this year the largest increases were because of the police hiring. ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ balance ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ nobody wants to raise taxes, but safety is such a big concern, like barabar de chalda with property tax, and sometimes we have to make these tough decisions. So when police hiring last year, we record hiring sigi. This year it's pretty close to the same amount of hiring, and that's why we're getting some results. So I get it. It's a regional system. It's a little bit confusing, Kebari, and I'm happy you're bringing that awareness. And that's why the provincial sarkar wallo, you're seeing a focus on regional governments, whether they keep them, whether they divide them up. Hale oho jiri galbaat chaldi a, but I think something has to be done in the long term.
ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੂਪ ਹੋਲਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਲੱਗ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਇਫ ਆਈ ਟਾਕ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦ ਓਨਲੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਪਟਨ ਸੋ ਕੀ ਉਹ ਬਜਟ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਉਹ ਲੂਪ ਹੋਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਪਲੱਗ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਜਦ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਬੈਠਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਓਵਰ ਸਪੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਲੋਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਦੀਜ਼ ਆਰ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸਿਸ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਸੇਵ ਸੋ ਪਲੱਗਿੰਗ ਦ ਲੂਪ ਹੋਲਸ in the proposed budget?
Absolutely. Like, sada budget office, they go department by department, manager by manager. It gets very into the weeds. Joe one page one that's like the higher overall picture. Coffee, budgets cut hoya, staff budgets cut hoya. And I'll be honest, staff, we supported by karke, everybody knows jo economy da hala. It's not just affecting one community, it's affecting the whole country. And so everybody's sympathetic and putting all hands on deck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.